following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
This week on the Defy Life Podcast, we'll talk some Jay-Z, NFL, Colin Kaepernick drama. We'll also talk some college football, a little bit of NFL. And as always, we will answer some listener questions and wrap things up with some trivia. All that and more. Let's get to it. Yeah, that's what it is. I guess we got to do it then. You all right? Two, pull, out, money, West Coast. Let's get it. Strap in, let's take a ride. Oh yeah, it's about that time, right? Been waiting all week to get to this. It's finally time to defy life. Let's chop it up, keep it trail, no other way. That's what we do. We might disagree, but it's all love. Guarantee we gon' speak the truth. Yeah, this hit different. My guys with me, now who's with us? Stick around for a few minutes. It's contagious. You'll get it. You downloaded the realest. Don't feel us, forget out. You not rocking with Defy Life, then what's your life about? This ain't Defy Life. On to the shy life. We'll let this ride out though. Welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network. This episode is sponsored by Heroes and Dragons, your go-to spot for all things comics and collectibles. Visit 1807 Bush River Road in Columbia, South Carolina, and ask for York. Tell them Defy Life sent you. Thank you for listening. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, GoDefyLife.com, and everywhere your favorite podcasts are available. As always, we encourage you to like, subscribe, and give us a 5-star rating whenever you listen. You can also find us on all social media platforms at Go Defy Life. This is episode 121, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, J.R. Glymph, joined as always by my wonderful co-hosts, Thomas Stevens, Alvin Glymph, West Coast Jay. How's it going today, Pooh?
Man, it's going extremely well. You know what it is. I definitely can't complain. Just getting ready for the first day of school. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I feel like I've heard that somewhere before. I don't know where. Oh, man.
Right.
I feel like, is this a script?
Right. I was like, I thought I was the only one with a script. Oh, man. Al, what's good with you?
You know, I feel like I'm playing, whose line is it anyway? And I forgot my line. So I'm freestyling. What's good?
Oh, man.
You know, I'm doing good, man. As you know, I'm not calling from downtown Nebraska, our offices today.
All right.
I'm actually in transit. So it's going to be interesting as I drive to Athens, Georgia, and do Defy Life podcast. It's going to be interesting. Because already it's been interesting because I've already had to download Skype onto my phone, which was the problem why I was having difficulty, which explains everything. But when you're driving and you don't have your app, then you got to download and then put a username in and the password all while driving up 85. That's a lot for a middle-aged man, to be honest.
Right. Well,
that's a lot.
We promote safety here at Defy Life, folks, as evidenced by Alvin Glymph.
And yeah, we do.
We also promote multitasking, so kudos to you, sir.
Multitasking as well as you can, and
right. And defying life.
At night, the highways are fairly empty, so
cool.
I'm not driving through too much traffic. Doing all of that, especially being can barely see. So like, these damn phones they need to increase the font. Or maybe I need to make mine bigger. I'm struggling.
Like the damn phones, the font gets smaller the older you get. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with it.
What's going on with that?
Oh man, West Coast Jay, what's good with you, sir?
Oh man, you know, I'm over here chilling. Excited that football's back.
Yeah, man. I've heard that somewhere before too. How's that Madden season going for you, man? Tell us what's going on with Madden.
Man, so I mean it's beautiful, visually stunning, but apparently the problem this year is that they've got a problem with fumbleitis. Fumbleitis and tip drills. Like the ball does weird things when it's in the air.
Right.
Sometimes the animations look good. It looks like a defender makes a clean play. Other times, the ball just gets knocked straight up in the air.
Is it something that they've acknowledged that they're going to fix in the patch or something?
Well, the first patch just came out, so I don't know if it's been addressed like that.
Gotcha.
But out the gate, that's sort of been it's easy to make people drop the ball, and it's easy to the receivers got to be either spectacular themselves or wide open.
Huh. So you got to turn everybody's fumble rating up to a 99 to make it realistic.
Kinda, or down to a 0, one of the two.
Yeah, whichever end of the spectrum. Yeah. Wow. All right. Well, at least it's visually stunning. All the rest of this shit they can fix.
Yeah. Right. It is still graphically pretty spectacular to look at.
Cool. All right. Well, shout out to Money. Money couldn't be here tonight. He is. I think he is. Did I get that text correctly? And I think I may have deleted it, but I think it said Money was saving them hoes tonight. So I don't know what Money's doing, but have fun saving them hoes.
Crudy.
Yeah. So
that could mean a lot of things.
That could mean a lot of things. So have fun saving hoes, Money. We'll talk to you next week. But you listen to this, stay tuned because we're gonna talk a lot of shit about you, especially Al because he had a problem with you. I don't know what it was.
Don't
so
save them.
Hey,
they don't want to be saved.
It was not say them hoes. That's what I'm gonna talk about.
That's what.
Hey, bro, what you doing?
Apparently, Money didn't get that memo. I don't know if
we do not support saving the hoes.
Yeah,
where was he in the orientation? Why he didn't get that?
I don't know. Maybe Money was out scouting new Defy Life properties like you, and his Wi-Fi wasn't working. I don't know.
That could have been a problem.
Could have been, but. It's too late now. Money already halfway in his shift in saving hoes. So we'll hear all about it next week. So shout out to you, Money. Yeah, man, before we get started, man, as usual, just want to do a little bit of house cleaning. Everybody definitely go out and check out DefyLifeGear.com. Again, we got the new fall gear dropping soon within the next couple weeks. First week of September, actually. Look out for the new fall line. Also, go out to Patreon at patreon.com/GoDefyLife. Become a patron of Defy Life. Support your boys. Support the movement. We are always appreciative of everybody that has already done that. And we also got a new website coming soon. The Defy Life Podcast Network will have its own site very soon. So be on the lookout for that. There'll be a dedicated site for just all of our podcasts, so you don't have to dig through all the content. If you're not a reader, you can go straight to listening to us. So we're very excited about that. That's all I got, man, as far as little house cleaning stuff. On to the show. First, some news tidbits. I could not wait to talk about this. So, Pooh, I'll start with you because I saw on social media you said that you can see both sides. I want to see what you mean by that. So everybody's fully aware of Jay-Z and the deal that he made with the NFL to along with Roc Nation, to take on the decision-making for entertainment for the NFL, which means that he and Roc Nation will be making the decisions on all the major events entertainment, including the Super Bowl halftime show. And as well, Jay-Z and Roc Nation will be partnering with the NFL as far as social injustice matters, which a lot of people had a lot to say about this partnership between Jay-Z and the NFL, including Colin Kaepernick's girlfriend, Colin Kaepernick lately. A lot of people have a lot to say. Pooh, what are your thoughts on the entire situation, and what was it exactly you can see from both sides?
I mean, and I'm totally brief, but I mean, I see it as a check mark for us to get Jay-Z on the inside, because I don't think we can get anything done with all of us being on the outside. Mm-hmm. And I know he does a lot of fighting for us, fighting for injustice, and making these documentaries and things like that. And it's clear what his stance is, what side of the spectrum he leads towards. So I think he has a plan, and that's my perspective. I think he has a plan and things he want to move toward once he get between those lines. And now he are in between those lines. And what I was saying with Reed is I see that he can feel like he's upset and he feel like Jay-Z wasn't a part of it from the beginning, and Jay-Z's being a capitalist, and Jay-Z didn't get Collins okay on the situation, this, that, and the third. So I feel, because he feels like he was there from ground zero, and you wasn't, you weren't with us when we were shooting in the gym. How dare you trying to come in and get some of this now? And I guess I see how he feels. I'm not saying I think he's right about it, but I can understand how he feels, because he feels like Jay-Z is being a capitalist on the situation, that he's not really in to help the situation. He's just trying to breed more for Rock Nation and in his pockets. I don't think that he sees Jay-Z as doing it for us. He sees it as Jay-Z doing it for Jay-Z.
All right. Okay. Al, what were your thoughts on the whole situation?
I totally agree with what Pooh said. First, let me say that. Totally. And the only thing I would add is that Jay-Z is a capitalist. Jay-Z has been
That's true.
a hustler. Honestly, my take on it was that it seemed consistent. I was not surprised in terms of that move, that chessboard move. And I look at it as chess. You know what? Jay-Z didn't come as far as Jay-Z has come by not playing chess in this motherfucker. Like 20-something years ago, think about where Jay-Z was. Now think about who he is now. And I had this conversation like this past weekend, and just kind of asking my daughter and wife how they felt about it. And my, as they shared in my response, and I mentioned that, Jay-Z was a drug dealer. So when you think about the character of what it takes to sell poison, addictive poison, to people in your community, that says something about a person. Mm-hmm. And my daughter responds, "Oh, wait, Jay-Z was a drug dealer?
Wow.
He used to sell drugs?" Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Like, she was shocked. Like, wow. And I was like, wow, look how far he's come.
Right.
So I look at it and I can appreciate anybody's, beef and say, like, what the hell? But to me, he is a capitalist. He made a grown business move. Like, yo, I'm trying to get some of that NFL money. Like, what? You offer me NFL money? Yeah, I'll take that. I'm down with that. I can get down with that. Money is what he's about. He's been about it. That's who he is, you know what I mean? And he's a salesperson. He sells. So he's about to sell this narrative. And I'm not saying it's a false narrative, but he's taking it's aligned with who he is. This is what I do. You want me to sell that? Sure, I sell that.
Right.
I've been selling meat for 20-something years. I've been selling crack. This is what I do. I'll sell that. Come on.
And Jay-Z has been putting himself above his relationships forever. You know,
it's about Jay-Z.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So,
that's true.
He did it to Dame. He did it to Jazzo. That's just who he
is.
A
lot of folk. Right.
Yeah,
that's that Ghost, that James St. Patrick mentality. You wouldn't know that, Jake, because you don't watch it. But Ghost put his he put himself over everybody. It's about me first.
Being someone from New York, and I know, just knowing where he's from, yeah, I'm not surprised at all. Let me just leave it at that. Not surprised at all. And I if Kaepernick or like any of them are mad, I get it. But this business, that's what it is to him, just business. And hey, whatever. I don't think he give a damn, honestly.
All right. West Coast, what did you think about the entire situation?
I mean, came up in this motherfucker $100,000 strong. 9 to be exact, off grinding G packs. It's always been about the money. He's told us that from the beginning.
All right.
You know, NFL money is NFL money. That industry is that's a next level business move. Like Al said, it's not in any way surprising.
Right.
And quite frankly, if it was anybody but Jay-Z, I feel like I'd be disappointed.
Right.
But because it's him, no, this is perfectly in line with all of his character.
Yeah.
It's perfectly in line with everything he's told us about himself all these years. You know, I get where Eric Reed is coming from. I completely understand that. He wasn't with him shooting in the gym. He never had to take a knee. But, you know, with his billions at this point, he has put enough money towards community efforts, towards philanthropy, towards actually trying to put his money where his mouth is. That anybody who's got billions of dollars, this is a position that you want to be in. Like, everybody is not gonna love every decision you make.
Yeah.
But if it's going to continue to make more and more billions, I mean, I can't knock the hustle.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, and I see it from both sides. Like, if you look at it from the side of the movement, I can definitely see why there's some question marks and side eyes. I see all that shit. And when you look at it from someone who has a pure interest in the original reason why Colin Kaepernick was kneeling, I definitely see why Eric Reed and Cap and Kenny Stills, why they would all look at Jay with, like, at least like with some kind of concern. But I also think that Jay's done enough where he deserves the benefit of the doubt. To where, like, even if initially you may think it's just about money with him, he has done enough in other situations where at least maybe the byproduct of this money grab, there will be some good to come of it too.
Jay's put himself in a position where it's a wait and see position.
Right.
Like, we literally have to now just see what he does with it.
Right.
Who on this call, if the NFL stepped to us and said, hey, Defy Life, I love the movement. We want to, throw some cheese y'all way and make y'all the official whatever mouthpiece of the NFL to tell this story. Like, to have that opportunity to do that, how can you turn that down?
Well, I think the only difference with that, though, Al, this would be the equivalent of if Money was playing in the NFL and, like, Money took a stance and they basically blackballed him, and the rest of us said, you know what, Money? NFL call, we about to go take this NFL money. Peace. We'll see you later. After the fact. Like,
but why would it have to be, like, you think Jay-Z is that cool with Cap? Like, we are with Money?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Like, in their previous conversations and previous interviews, like, Jay-Z was one of Cap's advisors throughout the whole situation. And Jay done interviews where he said, I definitely, someone asked him, I think it was Van Johnson. He was on the interview, and he asked him, if what would you advise Cap to do if he were you in the situation? Would you advise him to stand or kneel? And Jay at that point said, yeah, definitely, let's kneel. Let's do this. Let's take a stance. So he was rocking with Cap, from the beginning, which struck an interest in me in this recent press conference when he was asked that same question, would you stand or would you kneel? He never answered the question. His answer to that was, well, his reply to that, he's never answered the question. His reply was, I think we're past kneeling. And he never answered the actual question. So I get it. Like we just said numerous times, it's about money for Jay, and he ain't gonna get that money if he continues to take that stance. Because if he was about the movement, he could have easily gone into any of those meetings and said, until Colin Kaepernick has a job, we wasting our time.
Correct.
Right, and then it wouldn't be Rock Nation in the NFL.
Right. So the fact that there is a deal means that Jay is totally off the movement's bandwagon. But there was a high level of coordination and alignment with Cap and Jay until this moment. Even when someone asked Jay, had he spoken to Cap about it? Jay's initial answer was, yes, we spoke. And then it came out later that he was lying. He never spoke to Cap. And at least not about this situation until after the fact. And then somebody from Jay-Z's camp said, yeah, and when they finally did speak, it was not a good conversation. So there has been a sense of betrayal, at least from the perspective of Cap. And then also now it's come out and it's been confirmed by 3 or 4 people who were in on those meetings that when Jermaine Dupri was signed a deal to coordinate the Super Bowl halftime show last year, that Jay-Z called him and told him not to do it because he didn't.
He wanted it for himself.
Right, he told him not to do it, and so he could sneak him in the back door and get it himself. So again, that's just some Jay-Z shit. You know,
Wow.
We shouldn't. Yeah, and that's
I
been.
heard that, but
You heard
honestly, I did hear that, and my thought initially was, shame on you, JD, for listening to somebody. Like, I ain't got no empathy for that. You know what I mean? Like it's business. And if I'm going to a competitor and they are competitors, and be like, nah, you don't do that. Hey, and you listen to me, and then I capitalize on or whatever. Like, this business. And I guess that's just how I felt about when I heard that story. I had no like, damn, too bad, Jay. Nah, that's like, you shouldn't have listened to him.
Right. I ain't saying it's too bad, but at some point, Al, I would think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think even you, with that statement, I think even you would have some sense of integrity about your business. Because to me, that's a total lack of integrity. Like, to me, it ain't worth me like lying and doing snake shit in order for Defy Life to be successful.
Did he lie and do some snake shit in that instance, or just give some advice to a competitor not to take advantage of an opportunity that ultimately he took advantage of?
Yes, that's like, omission is a lie. Like, if you're using the front of, man, we need to stand together and we don't need to associate, because his exact words were, how deep are you in with the NFL with this? I don't think this is a good idea. Using the movement as a mask, saying and telling his competitors why they shouldn't get in bed with the NFL, and then you do the same thing, not even on a different platform, but on the same platform that has your associate banned from that same league for the same reasons you're lying in bed with them. Like, that's some snake shit to me.
It can be snake shit, and someone can also be stupid. So, like, I'm not gonna disagree with you, but again, like, ain't nobody putting no gun in nobody's head is all I'm saying. So, right. And I ain't gonna say, maybe I'm being harsh by using the word stupid. I'm just saying, I also want to have always personal responsibility for people's choices while someone's taking advantage of them because they both adults.
Right. I get that. I absolutely get that. But the reason I'm speaking from that perspective is because we're talking about Jay-Z, not Jermaine Dupri. He was a byproduct of us having this conversation. The point I'm making is there's a track record, and we just said this. There's a track record of Jay-Z being a snake nigga. Like, whether he's capitalizing or not, like, to me,
Even
like,
more of a reason not to listen to his ass.
You're right, and that's what I'm like. And so, like, the reason I fought Jermaine Dupri in that, or anyone else who would sit there and listen to Jay-Z counsel you, is that you gotta know, you gotta respect the source, right? And like, if you don't realize who you're speaking with, you'll take anything from anybody. So yes, I do fault Jermaine Dupri for that. My point was just that, like, we have established like a trend of Jay-Z just being about Jay and his money.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so when I think it's two-sided. I think the dichotomy is, one, looking at it strictly from a business standpoint. Yes, it's a huge money grab for Jay, but on the other side of it, like, if we are talking about, and if we're being honest, and when I say we, I mean we as a people, if we are as upset as we said we were about Colin Kaepernick being blackballed and about the NFL not giving a shit about black folks in the black community, this should really upset people. When Jay-Z is being used as a black face, because the NFL don't give a shit either way. This is just an opportunity for them to say, when somebody mentions Colin Kaepernick, it's an opportunity for the NFL to say, hey, but what about Jay-Z?
Hey, we got a black guy.
Right. And so even Jay in his comeuppance is being used to a certain degree.
That's capitalism.
I definitely agree.
You know,
with
like
that, though.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about capital. I'm talking about the actual reason why we were pissed off with the NFL. Like, we can't have it both ways, is what I'm saying.
But I'm not disagreeing with you. All I'm saying is the essence of capitalism is exploitation.
Mm-hmm.
So as we acknowledge people getting exploited, all I'm saying is that's the system. That is what the system does. It exploits people. And so while Jay is exploiting so-and-so as a capitalist, the NFL is exploiting Jay-Z along with the play. You know, like, that's just what that's what's going on here. That's how I just look at it, and I understand the rules of the system that we are playing with.
Right, but
I don't expect no different. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think it's okay I think we should expect different if we push for different. Like, at one point, slavery was a system. What if people just said, that's just the way shit is, that's the system we're in?
No, I'm not saying, and again, I ain't against changing capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying, as long as we playing capitalism, what I'm expecting is how the rules of this system are, which is capitalism exploits people. I'm all down with changing. I ain't tied to capitalism, but if that's the system I got right now, to something else different, I'm like Jay-Z, play the game.
Yeah, and even and even like to another level, like, I think, to me, like, that's a cop out to say that's just capitalism when people say that, because capitalism doesn't have to be that way. That's more dirty pool. That's unethical. Like, that doesn't have to be a part of capital. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not a written or unwritten rule. It's not an understood fact that capitalism has to be dirty.
Not dirty. I just said exploited.
It doesn't even have to be that.
But I think I do think so, because I think anytime the essence of capitalism is like me get something and then try to sell it for more. Like, so, like, to me, like, that's the true essence of it. And in that essence means I'm trying to capitalize. I'm trying to, you know, like, it just, now some people aren't going to do it to the extent of a Jay-Z, a Donald Trump, or the pure capitalists who are going to not just try to make a buck, but they're going to be dirty with it. But I just think, like, Christianity's essence is love. Capitalism's essence is exploiting. If it wasn't, I would sell it to you for what I got it for. But no, I'm trying to make something off of it. I'm trying to profit off of it. I'm trying to profit off these players.
But profit
off of Jay-Z.
Profit and exploitation are two different definitions, like, strictly. Like,
I'm being
hyperbolic.
I'm being that.
Right,
I
get what you're saying. And I agree with you that that's how it is. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be that way. We make it that way, because because it's been proven that capitalism works as well when there's a win-win. Like that's also capitalism. It's just not dirty pool. I just think it's we found a way to give ourselves an excuse to say, hey, that's just capitalism. That's just the way shit works. We have to.
But I mean, I agree. It works best win-win, and Jay-Z is winning, and the NFL is winning, and Kaepernick is winning. Like you don't get the money that Kaepernick got in his life, and he ain't winning. He winning, and while he's not able to earn money right now, I get it. He's still winning in life.
Yeah, but not in relations to this situation though.
Yeah, but very few people win in every situation.
Yeah, but like
but
what you doing? But you can't just cherry if you lose your job tomorrow, I'm knocking on wood. I'm just saying, you lose your job tomorrow.
Sorry, I got 2 kids.
I know, but I'm just, okay. I'll say this: if Bobby Brown loses his job tomorrow, yeah,
thank you.
Should and Bobby and I ain't saying the New Edition Bobby, I'm just saying a dude named Bobby Brown. Some random dude named Bobby Brown loses his job tomorrow, and he tells somebody, "Hey, I lost my fucking job. I don't know what I'm gonna do," and they say, "Hey, but you won the middle school basketball championship. You're winning in life. You didn't win at this situation. Like that shit ain't got nothing to do with this situation." You get what I'm saying? Like Colin Kaepernick's talent and everything he got to win in life in general has nothing to do about how he totally lost in this situation. It ain't, I'm just saying that I ain't saying, Cap's a loser in life. I'm just saying in this situation, Jay-Z totally that's dismissive to say this is not about Cap not having a job. Like that's dismissive. And I'm hoping again that, I think Jay-Z deserves the benefit of the doubt. I'm just hoping that it's more than him just getting this money grab, and his end game is being an NFL owner, and he'll do anything to get to that. I'm hoping that's not all the sum total of everything. I'm hoping it's not.
But I think when he said it's more than Cap not having a job, what I took from that is that Cap kneeling was about bringing awareness. I mean, y'all know what it's about, right? Mm-hmm. Bringing awareness to the injustice, police brutality, all of that. And I think what I heard from that is this movement is more than Cap not having a job. So if he's able to, and whether it's through the NFL or through the NFL plus whatever he does going forward in life, Jay-Z I'm talking about,
mm-hmm.
be able to help improve and continue to raise awareness of what Cap was, what they all were kneeling for, not even just Cap. You know what I mean? Like I know that Cap having a job has been a major concern and a focus of those, activists. But I also think him not having a job is insignificant or in comparison to what he was kneeling for. And so what I'm hoping that Jay-Z and all of the people continue to do is remember, and this is what I thought he was saying, is that ultimately we're trying to raise awareness and make a difference in regards to social injustice. That's right. What all of this should be focused on, whether Cap is hired tomorrow or not. That's what it should be. That's what the focus, not all of it, but that's what primary, that's keeping your eye on the prize. Right. That's what the prize is always, injustice.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that it's more, I hope that the talk leads to some action. That's what I'm hoping, is that all the stuff Jay-Z is saying is the stuff that he actually plans to act on.
Well, watch out. He is JC.
That's right. that's
Oh,
right. That's where the hesitation comes in. It's
Right. Again, it becomes a looking. We gotta wait and see.
right. It's like 12 dudes in Brooklyn right now. Like, oh fuck, hell no. Oh no. But,
Come on, hell, you know he's not doing.
right. Yeah. But we'll see. And when you think of it, like the NFL is so powerful that regardless of what Jay-Z wants to do, they can shoot him down on anything.
Oh yeah. It's only gonna be what they want him to do.
Right. So even if his intentions are the best, it still may not work out. But like Jay said, it's a wait and see. So I don't know. Well, that's our only news tidbits, and I don't know if y'all will notice, listeners, that we kind of scale back. We do have Defy Life Radio launching soon, so we are scaling back on the meat of our show. We got to fit it in time-wise to where our podcast director, Mr. Yusuf English, wants it fitting in our time slot. So no more 4-hour shows for you folks. We're going to try to keep it around 2 hours. So this is why we only got one news tidbits. We'll kind of tinker with some things and kind of scale back the show a little. Money's not here, as Pooh said. Money's not here, so that'll cut off 30 minutes of the show. Like I throw you under the bus, Pooh. Like I ain't say the same shit. But yeah. So we was gonna move right. We're gonna move straight on to our listener questions. Our first listener question is from Terry in Charlotte. Pooh, Terry wants to know, how long before the Raiders absolutely get tired of Antonio Brown?
I guess it's all, man, they can be sick and tired of him just hating the sight of 84. But as soon as he steps on the field and goes for 11 catches, 181 yards, 3 touchdowns, is all forgotten. But I guess until then, though, they're probably sick and tired right now. But but what I'm saying is it's going to be short-lived, because he's going to be AB as soon as he gets out there. Well, if he gets out there. Right. But I think they're sick and tired of him right now, because you see Mayock, look, either you're all in or you're all out, man. Get out here. I mean, get out here and run routes without helmet. I mean, do what you're going to do, dude. Just get out here. But like I said, I think they're sick and tired of him now.
Right. Yeah. West Coast, what do you think? How long before they just sick and tired of AB?
And the Raiders been a sideshow for so long. There won't be. Like, as long as he shows up and plays, as long as he gets, like you said, he's got every third game is 12 catches, 143 yards, and a touchdown or 2. As long as he shows up to play, they knew he is who we think he is.
Right.
So, John Gruden made comments last week like, it's Antonio Brown. I fully expected something.
Right. Yeah.
So this week he's in practice, so it's cool.
Mm-hmm. So when you say the Raiders are so much of a sideshow, do you mean from bottom down, like from top down, or just the fans?
Oh, from top down,
that?
definitely.
Okay.
It has been a top-down situation for, basically since Al Davis went senile right before he died, basically. Because Al started doing stuff where it was like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't care about anything going on. Like Al Davis took the capitalist technique to a whole nother level when he realized that the NFL is truly a form of entertainment, and all he wanted to do was create the most entertaining team. Like it wasn't the best team. He wanted to create the most entertaining team.
True.
That's why he consistently was drafting the fastest, but not the person who can actually catch.
Right.
The strongest, but not the person who can actually block.
True.
Yeah. What they do in the combine? He did what? Get him.
Draft.
Hello, Darius Hayward, Bay.
Yeah. Right.
How much did he bench press? He bench pressed what? Oh, that's awesome. Get him. Hello, Robert Gallery.
All right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's done it for he did it for so many years, and then he died, and his son took it over like it was a Madden franchise.
Yeah.
And wasn't doing well with his Madden franchise.
So do you think John Gruden buys into that? Or he'll fall
I think
in
John
line?
Gruden understands it. And so as to buying into it, I mean, Gruden was behind the camera for a while, or in front of the camera rather, for a while. And I think that he just understands it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, is he trying to make a winning product? I think that he is, yes. And I think that, like Pooh said, as soon as AB touches the field, and as long as he is who we thought he was, then it's going to be, you know, they're going to dismiss so many random things. But you got to keep in mind, this is a team that's getting ready to go to Vegas, the show me city of the world.
Right.
Like, the whole point of it is bigger, stronger, faster. Like, everything in Vegas needs to be bigger than something else.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like, he is almost perfectly designed to be the personality that represents the franchise currently.
Yeah. And I think, like, at the end of the day, regardless of how long it takes, when it happens that his production no longer outweighs his distraction, the league will be tired of him. Like, we've seen this over and over again in all leagues. Like, you look at T.O., you look at Randy Moss, you look at, you know, Carmelo Anthony. In every professional sports league, when your production and your ability to make a difference on the field is outweighed by the distraction that you bring, they'll just get rid of you anyway. The entire league just will get rid of you. So, he's 31 now. I mean, it's a young man's game. It's just a matter of time. Whether they're tired of him or not, the league will show him when it's time to go. I don't know. Al, what do you think? You think how long you think before the Raiders get absolutely sick of AB?
They won't get sick of him until he sucks. I think he fits right in with the entertainment side of it, bringing awareness and eyeballs towards the Raiders. And he's also shown to be somebody, despite all those distractions, producing on the field, which is what the Raiders like. So, I wouldn't count him out, especially this season. But you're right. You know, 31 is on. You know, he's seen more good days that he's gonna see going forward. You know,
right.
So we'll see what the next couple of years look like. But I think this year, assuming he gets one of the, I think it's like 20 helmets he has to pick from. One of them will, you know, be suitable for him. But I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Not this season.
Nah,
Yeah.
I mean, they signed him for 3 years. Like,
He won't see the end of that 3 years, though. I don't think so.
Nah, I mean, he picked up a helmet and went to practice today, so
This
we shall see.
That's the most Antonio Brown thing in the world
Ever. Isn't that the greatest?
It's like my helmet. But I don't know. I think a lot of it does hinge on John Gruden. You know, has John Gruden become part of this circus, or is he there to actually clean shit up? Because he does have complete autonomy of that roster and decision making. So if he's
Mayock
there,
as well. Mayock's comments was kind of strong.
It was, but I think Mayock was put in that position by Gruden to go out there and say what we're feeling, which is still cool.
Yeah, that's his job,
right? But you know, I don't know. I'm still in a wait and see approach with John Gruden. I don't know if he's softened over time. If this was the John Gruden that Keyshawn Johnson had to deal with, I wouldn't be surprised if they cut bait before the end of the season.
Yeah, agreed.
But again, I don't know if he's softened over time or like Jay said, being in front of the camera for a decade, kind of, you kind of become part of the show.
You're part of the show now, man. Look at the Mike Mayock, ESPN personality, is now the GM. Like he figured out how to make the Raiders still remain relevant, according to ESPN at the very least.
Right. So
whether or not that translates into wins and losses is still yet to be seen. Right.
But then again, I say this all the time: wide receiver is the most dependent position in sports. All right, you can't do shit if your line don't block. It's your quarterback can't pass. It's so much stuff that has to go right just for you to catch one pass, right? Like any other position in any other sport, like you can insert yourself in the involvement of the game. If you're a center, get a rebound and dribble that shit down the court and dunk on somebody. If you're a free safety. Hell, get an interception. If you're a receiver, you are completely dependent upon 10 other people doing their jobs right just for you to catch one pass. And so a lot of how well he's playing won't have anything to do with how well he's playing. You get what I'm saying? So we can say, hell, he's Antonio Brown, which he is, and arguably a top 3 receiver in the league. But if them other 10 people ain't doing their jobs, you can still end up the season, regardless of how good you are, with 60 catches for 900 yards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald is the current. That's exactly what you're talking about.
Right, but if Larry Fitzgerald was a world-class asshole, I don't think he'd still be in Arizona.
That's fair.
Yep.
That's fair. But
I think the Raiders are astute enough to notice as they assess, his talent, and as they look through the year, if he only has 60 catches, how many times was he open and just somebody didn't give him the ball?
Right.
So
right.
I know they're not just,
Yeah, and they'll exhaust every other opportunity to throw somebody else under the bus before they get to him. Like, they'll cut bait with Derek Carr, whoever the hell the offensive coordinator. They'll cut bait with a lot of other people before Antonio Brown. Like, it's going to take a lot, which is why I say he'll, if we're dealing with the John Gruden I think we are right now, he'll easily make it through this year at least.
I think so.
Right. And regardless of whether shit's going well or whether he's throwing tantrums on the sideline, I just don't think they're going to be willing to cut bait that quickly. I'm just saying the main reason I don't think he'll make it through the 3 years is just because, again, he's 31, and typically dude's bodies start to break down at that point, and I don't know if they're going to be wanting to pay somebody $24 million a year at 33, 34 years old to just be an old dude to make a lot of money. Regardless of his personality and how he acts, I think it'll be a football decision at that point. So, I don't know, but we shall see. Pooh did admit to me that I was right last week about Juju being better than AB, though, but we're going to move on.
Man, go ahead with that. Go ahead with that.
Oh, man. But, appreciate it, Terry. Thanks for the question. Al, I'm going to start with you on this next question, man. This is,
sir.
So, Melissa. Shout out to Melissa from Palatka, Florida.
What up, Melissa?
No doubt. Melissa wants to know, is Dwight Howard a good fit with the Lakers now that Boogie is done? Boogie's done. Melissa obviously listens to the show. She said Boogie's done. Done, son.
Son.
Is Dwight a good fit?
Honestly, I think what I'm hearing from Dwight, and he's younger than I thought. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but he's younger than I thought. The word that I'm hearing is that Dwight is focused on trying to win a championship, humbled himself to understand that he is just a role player in this league and is willing to just be that guy. And so if you're talking about somebody who's just trying to come rebound, defend the rim, catch lobs, and just try to just get, 20, 25 minutes a game, I think he's a great fit. Right. And especially because AD has already said he does not like playing center.
Right.
And I didn't know that, but when Boogie was signed, that's what he said. Like,
wow.
I'm so glad he's here because, man, I don't like playing center. I was like, oh, word? I had you as our center.
Right.
But okay. If you don't, you don't want to play center? We can find a center now. So I think he is a good fit. And, I think it would take some Laker fans, trying to forget how he showed up the last time. If this was the Knicks, he would get booed for the first month. But this is LA, so they're not gonna boo him. But I really think it's gonna, because of how he showed up. Some of us a little hesitant, but like, why him though? That dude was soft when he was here.
All right.
But that was years ago. So I think he'll be a good addition if he comes over. Because again, we need a big man because I want to keep AD happy.
All right. And healthy.
All
right. I don't know. West Coast, what you think? Is Dwight a good fit in LA?
I still have a really, really, really foul, malodorous taste in my mouth from the last time Dwight Howard was in LA. I guess.
So can you tell the listeners how you really feel, though?
I think the best way to describe his original LA Lakers stint, I think the word I'd use would be putrescence. He was the worst. The worst center that LA had he was supposed to be this heir apparent to Shaquille, and he fit the profile and everything. Came from Orlando, wore a Superman cape, and then showed up in L.A. and suddenly the bright lights were too much for him. I need to leave now. I can't deal with the lights. Like, what are you? Who? What? Isn't the whole point to get to L.A.? L.A. or New York? I thought that was always the point. That you're always trying to get to one of those two places, and if you could make it there, what did Sinatra say? If you can make it there, you make it anywhere. And he didn't make it there.
Yeah, but to be fair to Dwight, Sinatra didn't know Kobe Bryant.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
Hey,
no, he
the
didn't.
Black Mamba could not save Superman.
No, he did not.
That's because he was not Superman.
He was not
he
really
wasn't
Superman.
Robin.
Right.
He wasn't even Wonder Woman.
He wasn't Clark Kent. He wasn't none of them dudes.
All right.
But is he a good fit? For lack of big men in the league that are available to be signed right now since Boogie went down, sure.
All right.
That's all I got. Like, I am not. Dwight Howard lost me as a fan years ago.
Gotcha.
Like, I feel about Dwight Howard the way you feel about Carmelo Anthony.
Good God.
Dang. Wow, that's strong.
And it's as a result of his last time in a Laker uniform. So I want that real clear.
All right. Pooh, what say you?
I was done, man. I mean,
Done.
it's just like even if we're playing at the YJ and not because of his stature or anything like that, because he looks the part, but I mean, someone doing all that joking and laughing, I would be like, dude, I can't even play with you. Like, he's just so kiddie. It's his demeanor. I don't think it's just like he doesn't want it, man. He's just out there collecting checks and having fun. I mean, I guess you're supposed to have fun, but not at the expense of winning.
Yeah. But you don't think at this point, like, it's about expectations? Like, nobody's expecting him to be, like, the centerpiece of that franchise like they were in his first stint in L.A. Like, at this point, he'd really be a role player, and he'd know he'd be a role player.
I mean, I just don't like him, man. I just don't like him. I mean,
Right.
I just
with
don't.
Pooh.
I just don't like what he brings. I don't like his mental state. I just don't. You know, he's just
Soft, man. You soft.
like you say you want players to buy in, but what is he buying into? You know, because I'm just lost for words with him, man. I know it sounds like I'm babbling, but he just seemed like putty, man. You know, guy, like he smiles too much, B. He just I don't like Dwight, man. Not now. Earlier, sooner, you know, he smiled all the time, but he matched that intensity. You know, when he was, you know, younger, but now it's almost like the game is so comical to him. You know, I just don't like what I see out of him.
All right. Well, Melissa, we appreciate the question. I got a follow-up to Melissa's question, right? So as we were talking, I just went and looked up a few options that the Lakers may have. So really quickly, thumbs up, thumbs down over Dwight Howard at this point. Pooh, I'll start with you. Joakim Noah.
Joe, I like Joe. Thumbs up.
Al.
Thumbs up.
Jay.
Over Dwight Howard, thumbs way up.
All right. All right. Al. Kenneth Faried.
Over Dwight. How tall is Fareed? Can he play center?
Like
6'8",
6'8",
He's
I thought
6'9".
he was like 6'9", 6'10".
6'9". He's now he can play center and he can be effective offensively, but he was horrible. He was the worst center in the league defensively when he played center last year.
Yeah. I'll take Dwight. So thumbs down.
All right, Jay. Oh, and just some clarity on Joakim Noah. We all know the defense and the energy and the passing that he brings, but he's not healthy. And he hasn't been healthy in 3 years. So I just want to throw that out there.
You still dealing with that plantar fasciitis or whatever? You still dealing with that?
That and shoulder issue, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you're banking on him returning to what we knew him as.
No, I'm just looking at him being solid and being, you know,
Being
intense. Yeah.
Right.
Just-
I mean,
Like he show up and
whoever
give
it
you a
is-
defensive anger.
Right.
Whoever it is, they're gonna mix with JaVale. McGee.
JaVale McGee, yeah.
JaVale McGee. So
And
we just looking for somebody to get some minutes in there.
right, and AD will play some minutes at center. Like if they, you know, when they play small
Right,
ball.
right,
So Kenneth Faried, Jay.
Yeah, I'm always with the Manimal. I've been a fan of him for a while.
All right. Pooh.
You said who again?
Kenneth
I didn't hear-
Faried.
Oh, Kenneth Faried. Man, am I playing him at power or am I exclusively playing him at center?
At center, you're looking to replace Boogie.
Okay.
And
Playing this big guy.
as in direct comparison to Dwight Howard. So at center.
I guess man, intensity wise, man, you give me Faried, man. Faried.
So you're just gonna have to, because I mean, essentially, if you play Faried, you're just gonna have to accept that it's gonna be a bunch of buckets scored on you. And
Give up
he's on
that
the floor.
size and give me.
I mean,
all right, man. Give me.
AD
Give me.
back
Give me.
there though.
All right.
Nah.
All right.
And lastly, Ryan Anderson. Right. Exactly. Pooh, I'll just throw it out there.
He is Bird. Which one? That's not the Bird, man. That's the shooter, Ryan.
That's
Anderson.
Chris.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
the
the
shooter,
shooter.
Ryan Anderson.
And the Bird, man.
He's again. He ain't gonna give you nothing defensively.
0, but he will hit a 3.
But you know what though? I mean, I think they'll be solid defensively, even with him. I think they can hide him. You know, I'll take Ryan Anderson, man.
All right.
Carolina.
Now you do know that this is essentially, if what we all think is going to be a playoff team. You can't hide defensive big men in the playoffs.
All right, Jay, man. Dwight.
I'm just saying because I know you hate Dwight, man. I'm just trying to make you see clearly. I've had to be talked,
Dwight Howard.
If this was about Carmelo, I'd be taking James Johnson over Carmelo. But
you would.
Right. So I would hope y'all would give me some clarity on it. West Coast.
Checking in Alvin Glymph.
Ryan Anderson.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm taking Ryan Anderson. I don't like Dwight Howard, bro.
Jesus Christ.
I don't like Dwight Howard in a Lakers uniform in particular. I don't know how to make that clear.
You don't like him in the rain. You don't like. Okay. So, and Dwight did only play 9 games last year before he had a back injury. He had surgery on his buttocks. But before he was hurt, he did average 13 and 11. And
that's not bad.
The year before that, he averaged 16 and 12. So it's not like Dwight Howard can't play. Like we talked about this a couple years ago. Dwight Howard he's a dinosaur in today's NBA. But I mean, if you're looking for him to give you 20, 25 minutes a game, essentially split time with JaVale McGee, I don't think you can get better than like somebody that you're not going to sacrifice defensively. You're not going to sacrifice offensively, and you don't have like the highest expectations of him. You're not going to ask him to lead you in scoring, rebounding. Like you're asking him to be a rotational role player, and I think he at this point in his career he doesn't expect any differently.
Right.
Like I absolutely agree. If this were 5-6 years ago and he still thought he was Dwight Howard and he hadn't been humbled by life and the realities of his play, I think it would be a different situation. But I think leadership is established on that team. I don't think you have to worry about him rocking that boat.
I mean, but so this quick pivot, but you don't think Melo has been humbled? You don't, even though you dislike. I mean, I could see Melo there as well. I mean, not at center, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, but they need a center
beat
as
up
well.
Melo all the time. No,
I do.
I'm just saying that because you're beating up Melo. But if you think that about Melo, I mean, I think that about. I mean, if you think that about Dwight, that he's been humbled by life and this, that, and the third, I can see Melo being definitely humbled by life and he can fit into a system.
Okay, yeah, and to answer your question, one, I have suggested spots for Melo. I think Melo will be great in Brooklyn for a year. And Melo go to Brooklyn for a year while KD's hurt, I think that'd be a great situation for him. But I think, secondly, Dwight has shown us that he's been humbled and he's allowed his play and his ability to blend into other teams to show us that he's been humbled. I'm not sure if Melo has shown us that. I think he has. The interview says so, but we don't know if in 18 games in, he ain't gonna be hoodie Melo again. We don't know.
True.
And
I just don't like Dwight
somebody
Howard.
gonna say his wife tastes like
Honey
Nut Cheerios if he gonna fly off the deep end. We don't know that.
But like I said, I feel the same way about Dwight Howard that you feel about Melo.
Yeah, when you said that, that's real. That says a lot.
Yeah, I don't like Dwight either though.
I just don't like him. I don't like his baby mama. I don't like none of it.
You don't like his haircut?
none of the
Jesus. Oh man. Well, at the end of the day, it looks like it's gonna happen. The Grizzlies have given him permission to talk to the Lakers. The Lakers have serious interest.
He was a Grizzly.
All right. Yeah, because he's only there 9 games before he got hurt.
I didn't like his cameos on Entourage. Like, I don't like Dwight Howard.
Yeah, well, and I'm not the biggest Dwight Howard fan either. But if my other choices are old hurt Joakim Noah, Ryan Anderson, and Kenneth Faried, I gotta rock with Dwight. As a lifelong Lakers fan over the last 8 months, I'm rocking with Dwight.
Wow.
That's all it takes. It takes a lifelong Lakers fan of 8 months to say something like that. That means you don't remember when Dwight was in a Lakers uniform.
I do.
That
I don't
has
have.
a
I
lot
don't.
to do with it.
It does.
No,
I don't
but
have the
you
attachment.
feel.
Right. Yeah.
You
Right.
wasn't there for that.
Yeah. But at the same, like, I can't even, because I don't know, man. I think, and this again is from somebody from the outside looking in. I think Dwight Howard got a raw deal, like as far as how much blame he gets in that situation.
Yeah, that's because he was outside looking in.
Right? Yeah, it may be. It's just my perspective.
Yeah.
Weren't you you was a lifelong Heat fan at that point, right?
Heat or Cavs, one of the two.
One of the two, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm just saying from the outside looking in, from my perspective, I ain't saying like he deserves none of the blame, but I think there's a whole lot of blame to go around for that situation.
I think Dwight Howard was exposed as like baby shit soft when he came to the Lakers, and
He's soft like that.
Not to say that he can't be different or he's not different now, but I think coming into the Lakers, it was like, oh, you ain't ready, and that's what Laker fans take from their experience of looking at him in our franchise. Like, wow, we thought you was that dude.
Yep.
And you ain't ready. You ain't ready to be on the big stage.
But I think the front office has a lot to do with that. I think the coaching staff has a lot to do with that. I think Kobe had a lot to do with that. Not him being soft. I absolutely agree that he was soft, but I'm saying as far as the whole situation, I always say that Kobe only knew how to lead one way, and if you didn't follow Kobe in that one way, he threw you away and left you out to dry. If Kobe was more versatile and flexible in his leadership style, he could have gotten more out of Dwight, but he didn't know how to. So I think there's a lot of, and that doesn't absolve Dwight from being a grown-ass man who's not working as hard as he should. But I think there's a lot of
out of tree.
Right. Well, you can. I mean, Kobe got it from players who responded to that style of leadership or were just fucking scared of him. People called Gasol soft until he got there, and until Kobe beat him up a few times in practice.
I'm saying then he showed like, wow, he wasn't soft. He just wasn't.
He's the type of guy. His personality responded to that. And I don't think Kobe was beating up Dwight Howard like physically. He would hit Powell. I don't think he was like gonna try to. I don't think he wanted no smoke in a fight with Dwight. Like, we can call the man soft, but at the end of the day, that dude's still 7'1", 260 and rocked up.
Yeah, I'm not right, and I get that, and I'm just talking about how he played and really just the mental side of the game and his approach.
Yeah,
everything that they've said earlier in the show, and to me, that's where it was like, wow. I know Kobe is the most fierce competitor, disciplined, focused player of like in the league. I get it. I know he's elite when it comes to that. But you saying just because you standing next to that dude, you can't get none of that. You can't feed off of that. You can't bring it. Nah.
Yeah.
Instead, he went the other direction and like buckled, and it was like, word, pimp to pimp, player to player. You just showed yourself.
Now, the one name that I would throw out there that I just saw that I would probably take over Dwight would be Marcin Gortat. I'll take Gortat over Dwight.
Yep.
Yeah, I like him too.
Yeah. Especially considering what you need from him. I'll take Gortat.
Yep.
But I don't know, man. But again, Melissa, thanks for the question. You and Terry. If y'all,
great question.
Yeah, absolutely. But if y'all want something answered on the show, or if you just want to get something off your chest, or if you just flat out disagree with something we say, hit us up on social media at GoDefyLife, or you can just email us at info@godefylife.com, and we'll get you answered. So we are going to jump to a commercial really quick before we get into some college football and NFL talk. We'll be right back with you.
How may I help you?
Play the Relationship Status Podcast.
Playing the Relationship Status Podcast.
You know, I would ask him, like, what are you doing? You know, where are you going with this? What are you trying? And he really didn't have, like, a real answer.
Okay.
So I didn't feel like we were going to be compatible later on down the line.
I think that goes back to something I've often heard and think myself, that men date women thinking they're never going to change, and women date men
Thinking that they are.
thinking that they can change them.
Relationship Status. New episode every Monday at 12 noon on Defy Life Network.
Welcome back to episode 121 of the Defy Life Podcast. This is J.R. Glymph. Again, with me is Thomas Stevens, Alvin Glymph, West Coast J. Guys, we're going to get into some college football talk really quick. Nothing too in-depth, but the AP preseason polls were announced yesterday. And just kind of want to get you guys' really quick question, like not to really go into any like details on either team or any of the teams, but I just want to take a quick look at the top 25 and get you guys ideas on who could disappoint and who could surprise. So I'm not sure if you guys have the top 25 up, but I'll go through it with you. So my question as I'm reading these, the question for y'all is, which team in the AP preseason top 5 will finish unranked? And also, which team ranked below 20 will finish in the top 5? Yeah. So I'll go through the top 5 with you. The top 5 teams in the preseason poll, we have Clemson number 1, Alabama 2, Georgia 3, Oklahoma 4, and Ohio State 5. Al, which of those 5 teams will finish outside of the top? Will finish unranked?
Ohio State.
Ohio State. Okay. All right, Jay, what say you?
Yeah, I'm going Ohio State too, without Urban Meyer.
Okay. All right, Pooh.
3 times a charm, man. I'll go Ohio State as well.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. So, y'all think old boy from Alabama, the quarterback, what was his name? Hurt.
Jalen Hurts.
Y'all think he's going to be all right at Oklahoma?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, Jalen was
solid. Yeah.
Jalen was all right.
I think he's solid.
He's a gamer. He's a gamer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he showed up for the first half of all Alabama games, and then they put 2 in.
Right. And I think that Oklahoma offense will make, the reads a lot. Right. He going to, yeah. So I think he'll be fine. So follow-up question again is, which teams in the ranked below 20, so 21 through 25, which of these teams you think will finish in the top 5? So at 21, we have Iowa State, 22, Syracuse, 23, Washington State, 24, Nebraska, and 25, Stanford. Pooh, which of those teams you think has the best chance of finishing in the top 5?
In the top 5. Wow. I'm looking at them right now. I would probably have to say Stanford.
Okay. Not a bad choice. All right, Al?
I was going with Stanford.
Okay. West Coast?
Once again, with the clean sweep, the Pac-12 is not. It doesn't ever scare me like that.
No doubt. Yeah. I'll probably have to say Stanford too. It would probably on this one, I would have accepted like none of them, just because
I thought about that.
None of them is
right.
When you
the real answer is none of them.
Right. Simply like the easiest answer for me and the easiest why is because I hate preseason rankings, because those teams have no chance of finishing in the top 5 because they're already at a like
Right.
Severe disadvantage.
Right.
That's too much of a climb.
Right.
No one's gonna lose that much in the top 12.
Exactly. So I never understood preseason rankings other than the fact of getting idiots like us to talk about it. It makes no sense at all if everybody's 0-0. What some guys think, like even coaches don't even watch all the games during the season to make regular season rankings accurate.
Yeah, there's no way.
Okay.
So
no way.
How can they know about dudes that ain't never played before? Like this is So that's why I say preseason rankings just completely make the season like it's a setup. It's almost like you're just writing a script to start the season, right? But I don't know. We shall see. But first game Saturday, Miami and Florida. So at least the name that should be a good one. But again, we're dealing with a bunch of 18 to 20-year-olds that we've never seen play. Most of them, so we don't know. So we'll see. So question for each of y'all. So we're gonna answer one quick NFL question before we get into some trivia. West Coast, you first. First, we'll jump to your Niners before we get to your Raiders. At this point, 2 preseason games in, what's the Niners' biggest question mark at this point?
So, the question I asked somebody earlier today was, is Denver's defensive line that good? Or was our offensive line really that bad?
I think the answer is yes.
You sent a text message that was a little bit disrespectful. But does the G stand for goddamn, he terrible? That's how I read it. I don't know if that's how you was trying to apply it.
That was, yes, it was.
Okay. But what I saw more than anything else was an offensive line that let a defensive line just be in the backfield.
Right.
So, the interception he threw, he was running for his life. First pass he threw, batted down at the line. Another pass, batted down at the line. A sack. He spent most of his time not being able to be a quarterback. So it led me to, how good is Denver's defensive line? Bradley Chubb looked like a monster.
Yeah.
Von Miller looked like a monster. But as soon as the backups came in, C.J. Beathard scored so quick.
Right.
It was like, wait, is it the line or is it the quarterback? Which one is it? So my biggest question right now is with the 49ers offensive line. Right. I don't know whether or not they are even Pro Bowl left tackle Joe Staley was somebody ran right past him. I was like, Joe, you're supposed to block him, right? You're just not gonna block him, huh? Okay.
So I guess so you're saying the real question should be, should the O and O line stand for oh my God, they are terrible?
That's that's what we talking about most of the time. As of preseason game 2, the offensive line needs to study more film and figure each other out.
Right.
So that's what I got right now. Jimmy G, it was your first day back in 330 days.
Right.
You threw 6 passes. That's not a real good sample size, to be quite frank.
Yeah. And then, in all fairness to him, I don't think he forgot how to play football that quickly.
Right.
We'll see.
This is, it was what it was. That's what I took out of those 2 drives in particular, was that the offensive line was just letting everybody in the back to have lunch. I guess they was back there having lunch.
Yeah. All right. Well, your Raiders. What's the biggest question mark for the Raiders?
Raiders look like they're not necessarily in the same offensive line spot, but the biggest question mark for the Raiders is, John Gruden, is your system really a thing? Can you show me that it works?
Right.
They haven't scored a bunch. They haven't. I like the freshman. I like the freshman. That's funny. I like the rookie rather. The rookie running back looks good. But as for the rest of AB ain't played good or ain't played yet, so doesn't matter. Until we actually see if this is a John Gruden, if you are this offensive juggernauted genius that we all made you out to be, or that you were made out to be the last time you won a Super Bowl, then you dipped out to the booth like a G. I don't know what to. That's my biggest question right now.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, and how well he can develop Derek Carr to continue to develop him in that system. So yeah, that's going to be huge. Pooh, what about your Bears, man? 2 weeks into the preseason, what's your biggest question mark?
Man, we haven't even played a starter yet, but I'm definitely going to say kicker.
Damn.
Our biggest question is kicker, man. We're saying Mitchell's doing this and doing that and reading and letting it rip, and he's not thinking; he's just reacting. But I'm gonna size it up with kicker. We need to solve our kicking woes. So kicker.
Who y'all got? Like Cody Parkey or somebody? Who's y'all kicker?
Nah. We got two rookies.
Oh,
got two young kids. Can't remember their names, but not Akers. Some Kers. I don't know if it's Akers or Wakers or something.
Yeah, I think
got two kids.
The first kid's last name is Do, and the other one's last name is Don't. And both of their first names are damned if you.
I feel you.
Damn Diffie. That's DAMDIF.
Right.
But that's who we have. Some good kicker though. Some kid's gonna get cut, and and we gonna scoop them up.
That's about the best analysis we can give when we're talking about preseason kickers. One of them gonna get cut.
Right.
Somebody getting cut.
Someone's getting cut from a team that kid's gonna be super duper solid, and we're gonna scoop them up.
All right. Al, first with your Cowboys. Do I even have to ask what the biggest question mark is at this point?
I don't think so, because it's all about contracts.
All right.
Biggest question is what's up with the contracts.
Yeah.
And what's funny is, like, I'm in the barbershop arguing with a Steeler fan about, like, because I didn't know he was a Steeler fan, but the barber was like, oh, as soon as I sat down, what's up with them Cowboys? And I'm like, man, we going to look good today. And, like, over my shoulder, this old dude, like, good? Y'all going to look good? The hell you mean y'all going to look good? What makes you think y'all going to look good? Like, who the fuck is that? And so I'm just talking, can't see who I'm talking to, but that was the first thing he brought up. But what's up with the contracts? Like, yo, is Zeke gonna be back? You talking all this smack, but you don't even know if Zeke gonna be back. After a little bit of that, he like, and what about Dak? Y'all gonna pay him? Y'all ain't gonna pay him. Ain't no way y'all gonna pay him. And so I just really think, like, there's just a lot of uncertainty with the Cowboys right now about contracts, and so I think that's the biggest question mark.
Okay. And it was announced today that looks like Amari Cooper's gonna miss at least week 1.
Dang, what's wrong with him?
He got like an ankle injury.
I knew he hadn't played yet, but okay.
So should be fun. Hopefully Jalen Smith can play running back and wideout without that money. Speaking of contracts,
I think he can.
He probably could. What about your Jets, man? What's the biggest question mark you got?
I think our biggest question mark. I mean, I think the most uncertain thing is what Le'Veon gonna look like and the impact he's gonna have on the offense. I think there's some other question marks, like in terms of cornerbacks. I think our pass rush, this thing, like, are we gonna have enough to be a real good defense? But I think the most significant question, though, is we really don't know what the impact of a top-notch running back who hasn't played in a year, who's new in our system, what he's gonna look like. And it could be all gravy or typical Jets. So I think that's fun because, at the end of the day, I think Le'Veon is a really, really good running back and something the Jets need. And I think Sam Darnold will benefit from a really good running back, and we just haven't got a chance to see that yet on the field. So that's a huge question.
Okay. Well, luckily we only 2 preseason games in. Can't wait till the regular season starts, so we can start getting some answers to all these questions. So we'll see. Well, in this abbreviated version, it's your grandfather's version of the Fire Life podcast, folks. West Coast Jay, are you ready to hit us over the head with some trivia?
Yeah, in the nature of abbreviated versions, I got abbreviated trivia.
Okay. Makes sense.
So, 15 total quarterbacks since 1990 have thrown for more than 500 yards in a game. Who are they? And we're going to go good old-fashioned round-robin style. You name it. If you get it wrong, you out.
Okay.
15 total. Let's see. Who won last week?
I did.
All right. Well, then you start. Followed by Pooh. Pooh, you hosted last week, didn't you?
Yeah, I hosted.
No, I hosted last week.
That was
Pooh
NFL
finished next to
Oh,
last.
Jay.
Yeah, so there go Al, Jay,
as he so
he
vehemently let us know.
last.
Right.
Yeah, he didn't finish butt naked last. That much I do know.
Right.
Who was last again last week?
That would be the Take a Knee for Defy Life zone. Or Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC zone, rather.
Irregular
Scott.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Beating regular is easy peasy.
Or was it Simba? One of them.
Yeah, I think Simba came in second to last.
Right. Oh, man.
Yeah. So since 1990 up until last year, who has thrown for 500 yards or more in a game?
And are we doing, like, if somebody's done it twice, can we name them twice, or their name only counts once?
If there are two of them that have done it twice.
All right.
Three of them that have done it twice, now that I'm really looking.
Okay.
So I will accept, if you name one of the ones that's done it twice, I'm going to need both years. So, like, name one. If you tell me that it was this dude, then tell me what year you remember it in.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Let's do it that way. That seems to make sense to me.
Okay.
All right. So, Jay, what you got for me starting in 1990?
Oh, I thought Al was
I'd
going
go first.
Sorry, Al, my fault.
Wait a
my
minute.
fault.
So you only get it right.
In already?
So you only get it correct if you have the year, or only if it's two guys and you want both credit for both.
Well, if it's a dude that's done it more than once,
Okay.
then I feel like I gotta ask for the year.
Okay.
All right. So, Al, what you got for me?
Warren Moon.
Warren Moon in 1990, as a Houston Oiler against the Kansas City Chiefs, threw for 527 yards, 3 touchdowns, 27 of 45. Jay?
Well, I know I got at least 3 answers then. If we're going that way. Give me Ben Roethlisberger in 2014.
Ben Roethlisberger in 2014 threw for, against the Indianapolis Colts in October, 40 of 49 for 522 yards and 6 touchdowns, probably winning somebody some fantasy weeks. All right.
And that was the second week in a row he threw for 6 touchdowns. It's fucking crazy.
Wow.
Dude, I want to say this guy, but I don't know the year, and I know he's done it twice.
You only have to know the year if you try to say it again.
All right.
If I said it again. Oh, okay. Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning did not throw for 500 yards.
Well, I guess you definitely don't need the year then.
You don't need the year for that. You don't need the year for that.
Bro,
Which year did he not throw for 500 yards?
Nah, he has to be on there.
Really?
Absolutely not on there.
I should have went with the other guy.
I could have.
Yeah, definitely.
I could have sworn Peyton would be on this list too.
I thought he was on there the year he won MVP when he came back with the Broncos, and he threw for 50 touchdowns. Yeah.
You would think, but
Go
he
figure.
is not.
Yeah.
All right. So where are we at now then? Al, we back on you.
Tony Romo.
Tony Romo did against the Denver Broncos in 2013 go 25 of 36 for 506 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Whew.
Okay, now. Okay.
Give me Big Ben in 2017 against. I remember
Ben Roethlisberger.
Cincinnati. Who was that?
Oh wow, I don't have 2017 on this list. This is crazy.
Come on, man. That's how I know.
That's how I know.
That's how I know Manning.
He got one of them. He got one of them Al lists. Remember Al gave us that half-ass list.
The worst part is I got this list from the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Oh God!
Hold on.
Maybe it was then 16 though. One with the
but check this though. The week Tony Romo threw for 500 yards. He and Peyton threw for 500 in the same game because they was talking about how both of them combined for 1,000 yards. You remember that, Al?
Nah.
You don't remember that? True that.
But even if they combine, Romo could have had 550 and Peyton could have 450.
No, Peyton Manning is still not on this list.
Don't give a damn what you say.
He's still not on this list. Roethlisberger in 17 is on the list though. But Peyton Manning is not on this list anywhere.
Was I supposed to co-sign that, Pooh? My fault. Was I supposed to get you back in the game?
All right. You back in the game. What you got?
How about Marino? Dan Marino.
Dan Marino in 1988 threw for 500 to the game.
Okay.
But it's from 1990.
This was from 1990 going forward.
Got to listen to the rules, sir.
Damn.
In 1988, Dan Marino became the 5th player
to
throw for 500 yards.
Damn, when did Warren Moon do it? I got lucky with Moon. I could totally forget about the...
It was 1990 in December.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking years. I was just thinking people who threw. But all right.
Well, Jay?
I know Ben's done it the third time, but I can't remember the fucking year. So I'm just going to go the safe route and go Drew Brees.
Well, Drew Brees has done it twice.
Oh, but I don't want. But fuck the year then. I don't want the year. I'm just saying Drew Brees. I don't want him twice. Why get him twice when I only need him once?
You just want this dude off the list.
I only need him once.
Drew Brees did it twice. He did it once in 2006 and again in 2015 against the New York Football Giants.
So is this it? Jay won?
Jay just won.
Hey, wait. So, and I know Tom Brady did it against Miami, right?
Tom Brady did it against Miami.
Why didn't I just say that? But I thought Peyton Manning was the safe answer. So I was saving Tom.
You know the irony is you have the wrong Manning. Eli Manning threw for 500 yards.
Eli threw for 500 yards.
Oh wow. Eli's a Hall of Famer. Psych.
Wow. Eli is a Hall of Famer, unfortunately. 2 Super Bowls and a 500-yard game says he probably is.
Don't ask Yosh.
Probably right.
Unless we ask Yosh. All right, so let's round out the list. Starting from 1990, you have Warren Moon. You have Boomer Esiason as an Arizona Cardinal.
Oh, wow.
You have Elvis
Burbank. You said with the Cardinals?
As a Cardinals quarterback.
I was going to guess it, but I was thinking the Jets.
We forgot about Kurt Warner. Go ahead, though. God.
Warner's not on the list, man.
He's not on there?
Nope. But you know who is? Elvis Gerback is on this list.
Elvis Gerback.
With the Niners?
With the Chiefs,
Kansas City
probably.
Chiefs.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Because I know it went with the Ravens.
Nope. All right. First time Drew Brees did it was in 2006 against the Bengals. Roethlisberger in 2009 against the Packers. Tom Brady in 2011 against Miami.
Right. That's when he hit Mike Wallace to win the game. I remember that.
Yep. Matthew Stafford against the Packers in 2012. Eli Manning against the Buccaneers in 2012. And Matt Schaub against the Jaguars in 2012.
Matt Schaub. Wow, there's a name.
And then we get our Tony Romo sighting in 2013. We've got Ben Roethlisberger again in 2014 with the Colts. Against the Colts, rather. We've got Phillip Rivers, who did it against the Packers in 2015. This is Drew Brees' second showing in 2015 as well against the New York Football Giants. Matt Ryan against the Panthers. Sorry, money, he did that to the Cats. Derek Carr. This was the year that everybody thought he was the greatest, 2016. Then he broke. Ben Roethlisberger again in 2017. And last year, the only one to do it was Tom Brady against the Eagles.
Wow.
Super Bowl loss.
Tommy Brady. He threw for 500 in the Super Bowl?
505. 28 for 48 in the Super Bowl loss.
I did not know that he threw for 500 in the Super Bowl.
Me neither. Wow.
And lost.
Yeah, that's a new one there.
And lost.
That's a new one there.
Passer rating of 115.4.
Is that the only 500 game, or Joe threw for it against that when they beat the crap out of
the Chargers? Nah, Joe ain't.
That is the only one.
That's the only one?
Yeah, because Joe didn't even get MVP that game. If he had 500 yards, he would have got MVP.
Yeah.
Because Ricky Waters got MVP of that Super Bowl.
So if you want to go back to the beginning, the only other ones, Norm Van Brocklin in 1951, Y.A. Tittle in 1962.
That's impressive.
Vince Ferragamo in 1982.
With the Rams?
Phil Simms. Yep, with the Rams. And Phil Simms in 85.
Wow.
And that's the entire list of 500 yards a game. There's 22 total in NFL history.
Jeez.
And I went back and read, and it had Favre and Peyton never to have done it.
Never did it.
As soon as I checked, yeah.
Never did it. That's why I was like, wrong Manning. Manning.
Never done it.
Wow.
But Elvis Gerback was the name that threw me. Like, who?
Right.
No, yeah, Elvis is crazy. Yeah, Elvis is crazy.
Wow.
I remember when he was a backup in the Niners game.
Right.
Who the hell was he throwing to?
That 500-yard game is probably what got him the big-ass contract in Baltimore.
Yeah, most likely.
But and with the Chiefs at that time, probably Tony Gonzalez?
Yeah, it was probably Chiefs.
And
probably.
I can't remember Lake Dawson, maybe.
Yeah, Roethlisberger had the highest of all the passer ratings. In case we're going any more deeper, he in 2014 with the 6 touchdowns had a passer rating of 150.6.
GOAT. Absolute GOAT status. That's what I'm talking about. And he had the most games on the list. Please.
1, 2, 3. Yep, he did.
All right. Tom Brady. Phooey.
Tom Brady just got demoted to Dwight Howard status? Is that what you're saying?
Right. He's soft, B.
Soft, B.
Wow.
He's soft.
They got this. Got this soccer player, this young lady kicking 45-yard field goals. We might sign her, yo.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mike. Go ahead.
That's a World Cup champion right there.
We might sign her, man.
Wow. All right.
But there's trivia. Jay with the victory.
All right. What's it, Jay? You hosted, man. What you got for me? Get a parting shot.
Parting shots. I am looking forward to football. That's all I got.
All right.
I
How
feel
very
like
profound.
I feel like I am supposed to hit people with the money. Oh, yo, I'm sorry. It was 2 for Tuesdays. We forgot about that. You're saying the real was apparently, according to Jay, was saving hoes. And so, you know what I'm saying? Okay, just be out there, don't save them unless they want to be saved. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm rocking with Defy Life.
Oh,
what is your life about?
Word. Oh, man. Thank you, West Coast J Money. Al, you lasted longer than Pooh did. What you got for me, man?
Let's see. Yeah, we'll just talk. Just have a good week. Definitely don't say those hoes. And for all those kids who in school, have a good year. Parents, hope your kids have a good year. All my educators, come back from a good summer and get ready to put it in and change the lives of those kids. Other than that, have a great week. It's always been good. I kind of like the abbreviated, John. I mean, that ain't too bad.
Right, yeah, it's not bad.
Nah, that ain't bad at all.
Especially after last week.
Man.
I tried to break them up last week. But,
last week was a marathon.
Right, but I'll take that. Have a good week. Good show, fellas.
All right. Pooh, this week you did officially finish butt naked last, sir. What you got for me?
Oh, man, don't do me like that. Hey, I just want to say, parents, pay attention to your kids, listen to your kids. They may be telling you something that you really, really need to hear just by nonverbal cues, or could be words. So just, pay attention to your children, man. They may need your help. That's all. I'm good with that.
No doubt. I ain't got nothing crazy. It's a couple things, though. First off, again, salute to all the teachers out there. Pooh, salute to Yosh. Al involved with the schools, the kids in schools. Salute to all of y'all. I know it's this time of year. It seems like that summer flew by, but parents, be involved with your kids. Get to know your schools, your kids' teachers, go to open houses, do all that stuff, and just be present. Secondly, shout out to Lynn and Kim for having their first celebrity interview on the history of Anything, Everything, and Nothing. They had Allie Caldwell from The Voice and The Four on their show this week, so definitely check them out. Proud of those ladies. And lastly, shout out to Money as he's out there saving hoes. We are appreciative of your work, sir.
I mean, we got though, but I hope you got your cape on tight.
Hey, he doing it. That means anybody else got to do it. So I am appreciative of Money's work. So that's all I got, man. Everybody, again, enjoy what's remaining of the NFL preseason. Enjoy college football. It's football season, y'all. So get ready for this shit. But that's all we got in this abbreviated version of the Defy Life podcast. We'll talk to y'all next week. Until then, Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Defy Life, yeah.
Peace.
Are you starving for comics? Do you covet the classics or the newest copies of our favorite comics? Ooh, that All-Star Superman, Watchmen, and Remember the Sandman? Heroes and Dragons can remedy that. They've been around for more than 30 years with the homegrown family atmosphere. Who's doing it like that? Marvel, DC, collectibles, toys, it doesn't matter. They have what you want. Go see them. Ask for York. Heroes and Dragons, located at 1807 Bush River Road, Columbia, South Carolina. Tell them Defy Life sent you.